Okay, 21, we got y equals blank x plus blank. Okay, what do we find first? Okay, we need to find the slope and the y-intercept. Which one do we find first? Okay, yep, you're right, I heard you. Okay, we're gonna find the y-intercept first. Okay, so that's gonna be right there at -2. Okay, now we need to find the next closest point. Take a second, try to find it yourself. Okay, you don't have to mark on your paper, but just take a second and be like, oh, I think it's that one. Okay, worst case, you're wrong and you don't have to erase anything. Okay, there are two options. You can either pick this one or this one. Okay, so hopefully you picked one of those. Okay, now we're gonna say how much do we rise, how much do we run. You cannot rise and run from here to here, okay, because you're skipping a point. So you either need to go from here to here, okay, or from here to here, okay, depending on whatever point that you picked, okay, but your rise and run is going to be the same. Either way, you're going to rise 2 and run 5, rise 2 and run 5, okay, but just make sure that you don't skip points in between, okay. So if we're looking at this, we would rise 2 and we would run 5, okay. If you're going from here to here, you're going to rise 2 and run 5. Okay, and it kind of makes stairs. Slope kind of makes stairs. And so we look at this and say, well, is it positive or negative? Okay, well, this should be positive. Okay, and I know this doesn't look like totally correct to say a plus minus. That's not how you would write it. But when you're just filling stuff in, that's totally fine. Okay. I want you to take a second, pause the video, try to do number 23 by yourself. And I'm going to do it on here, but try to do it by yourself and see what you get. Okay, so I got my general formula there, and I find the y first. And so this one, it's so close together, but you can see that the y is going to be right here at 5. And then we need to find the next closest point. And this one's actually kind of a good one. I'm going to scoot this up for a minute. So if you can see really good, we cannot pick like this point, okay? Because you really don't know what that is. Maybe that's 3/4. Maybe that's 1/2. Maybe it's 0.333345, okay? And so that's why we have to pick the next closest point, okay? And so looking at this, if I'm following this one down, it doesn't really look like there's anything other than this one. Okay, so that's got a pretty large slope, and you can kind of tell because it's got a really steep line, okay? So scooting this back a little. So we're gonna rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we're gonna run 1. Okay, well, is that line going in the positive or negative direction? So you gotta kind of think, we always use the tallest part of the arrow, and if you were to continue this arrow, it's gonna go up 10 over 1 again, okay? And so you could continue this arrow. So is that going to end up being in a positive or the negative box? Okay, it should be a negative. Okay, this next section is probably the hardest section for students, just because you really, if you are a visual thinker, a logical thinker, you'll be able to, logical doesn't sound very nice, but you'll be able to kind of see which way. Okay, so the same way that we plot that we find the y-intercept, you're going to plot that part first. Okay, so you plot this part first. Oh, shoot. Okay, we plot this part first. So we go to the y line because that's the y-intercept, and we go to where y is 2, and we're going to make a dot. Okay, now we know that our slope is 2, okay, -2. Okay, it's not -2x, it's -2. Okay, in anything, you can really put it over 1, okay? So we're just going to rise and run. So you know you need to rise 2, 1, 2, and you're going to run 1, and you put a dot there. Okay, and you could really keep going if you want to make your line nice and straight. You're going to rise 2 and go over 1. Okay, on the opposite side, if you're trying to make your line go down this way, you're going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Okay, now, I don't necessarily need you to make all of those. I need you to make at least 2 points, the y-intercept and the next closest point. So either this one or this one, okay? And then you're gonna draw your line. However, I purposely did this one wrong. So you see how we rise 2, we went over 1. Is this a positive line or a negative line? This says I should have a negative line, okay, because I have a negative slope. What did we draw? We drew a positive line. And so if that happens, not much is gonna change, okay? So we still plot our y-intercept, okay? But when you go up 2, you're gonna go over 1 this way because I need my line to go in that direction. So you go up 2 over 1. Okay, and same thing, you only need to plot 2 points really, but the more plots you point, the more straighter your line's gonna look. So the red line is the correct line, okay? The black line is not, okay? The black line is a positive and we need a negative slope, okay? The red line is negative and that's what it's supposed to be, okay? So that is the hardest part for kids is to think about which way your line should be going, okay? So always keep that in mind about what's happening with your line. Okay, so we plot what first? What do we plot first? Okay, well, you're going to plot your y-intercept first. Okay, and so that's at 3. Okay, and so now we do our slope. So we rise how many? We rise 1, and we go over 5. Okay, well, which way? Do I go over 5 this way or this way? What kind of slope am I making? Okay, so you can kind of put a point here and here. Okay, if I connect these 2 lines, okay, that's going to give me what kind of slope? Well, what if I go this way? Okay, and so that left and right is really what's going to make our line go in different directions, okay? So make sure you're thinking about that. So we go to 3, and we're going to go up 1, and we need to go over 5, okay? Because we have a positive slope. Okay, 29. My y-intercept is what? Okay, we plot the y-intercept first. It's at 5. Good job. Okay, and then what is my slope? My slope is 3 over 2. So this one's going to be kind of extra tricky. So can we go up 3? Can I rise 3? No, because I'm going to end up off the graph. So I only have the option to go down 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that puts me 1, 2, 3. Okay, that puts me here. Which way do I need to go over 2? Do I go over 2 this way or this way? I need a negative slope, okay? So our line needs to go in the negative direction, okay? Meaning my line should be going like this, okay? So which way do I go over 2? Okay, you can put 2 on each side, okay? We went down 3 over 2. And kind of think, well, if I connect these 2 lines or do I connect those 2 lines, okay? And the fact of the matter is you're going to have to connect these 2 because we need a negative line. We need a negative slope. Okay, take a second, pause the video and do number 31. Okay, and see if you're doing it right. I keep telling you guys to pause the video and hopefully that you are and trying to do them because I am not there to be able to kind of self-check it and make sure you're doing good. Okay, so think about what do we plot first? Well, we plot our y-intercept first, and so we go to the y line and we go to -1. Okay, Jared, what's our slope? Okay, it's -4 over 5. Okay, so I know that I need a negative line, so my line should be going in this direction. So can I go up 4? Yeah, so we're going to go up 4, we rise 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we go over 5. Okay, well, do I go over 5 this way? Or do I go over 5 this way? Okay, which shape is going to give me that negative line? And it should be this one. Okay, so go through, do the rest of your sheet, and let me know if you need some help. I'll hop on Zoom, okay?